What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your girl Queen Talks Crime, and I am back with another video. Make sure y'all thumbs up this video, like, share, subscribe, comment down below if you have any comments, questions, or concerns. Disclaimer, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I know it's a lot been going on, y'all, about Jeffrey Dahmer. It's a lot. I mean, a lot out there. He has the director had put out, there's a new series on Netflix about Jeffrey Dahmer. But we're going to give him we'll go by his initials, JD, so I don't have to keep repeating his name, y'all. So, JD, that's who we're going to be talking about today. The infamous Milwaukee Monster. Now, Jeffrey Dahmer. Who is Jeffrey Dahmer? He may be known to a lot, but some do not know who the American serial is. Who is JD? JD was born May 21st, 1960, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He died November the 28th, 1994. He died in Columbia Correctional Institution in Portage, Wisconsin. JD was born to Lionel and Joyce Dahmer. His sibling was David Dahmer, who he gave his brother that name when mom was pregnant with his brother. JD named him. Some known to as America serial. Some he's known as the Milwaukee Monster. I myself, y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I am intrigued with JD. I always have. He's one of the guys serial in my intro, in my outro. And I like to get in their minds and I like to fix things and straighten things out. Try to figure out how we could have prevented this. You know, get in his mind, what was he thinking, how we could have corrected it. Some will ask, what did JD do? Well, he offed 17 men and boys between the year of 78 and 91. In his late murders, it involved necrophilia, cannibalism, and the permanent preservation of body parts. Typically all or part of the bones, the skeleton. Okay. His crime, his charges: first-degree murder, 16 counts, drunken disorderly. He also had disorderly conduct, second-degree SA, and child SA. He was convicted of lifetime 16, and that is 941 years in prison. Yeah. But in his third year in prison, he was unalived by one of his cellmates who thought they was God. Some ask, what caused JD to be a monster? That's a good question. What caused him to be a monster? Some say JD was deprived of attention as an infant. Some say he wasn't deprived. Some say he was a happy, doted on infant and toddler. That's what people say. That he was, some say he was deprived. Some people say he was doted on by both parents. Now, his mom was known to be greedy, tense, selfish for attention with her husband. She needed him. She had to have her husband. She wanted his attention, good or bad. She also dealt with depression. Okay? And she wanted to come before her kids. That's how much wife, Miss Joyce, longed for attention from Mr. Lionel. Okay? And she also attempted to end it all because she was suffering from depression. Okay? With some pills. His dad, Lionel, was gone a lot. Working to try to provide for the family. Going to school to further his education. He was a chemist. And y'all will, by the end of this video, know kind of where JD got some of his thoughts from. Wait till the end. I'm going to let you know. So they noticed JD changed. They said he changed after he had a double hernia surgery at 4 years old. I don't know how much of a change it'll cause in a 4-year-old, but people say, you know, they noticed a change. He was a happy, go-lucky kid, energetic, until he had that double hernia surgery at 4. Okay. In his early age, JD was interested in dead animals around age 4. He saw his dad remove animal bones from under the house. You know, where animals get trapped, die, stink. Somebody got to go under there and get it before you have more rodents trying to feast off of that. So his dad went under there, got some animal bones, and JD was like, he was thrilled. So he up there playing with the bones. And his dad looked like, that's odd. But he didn't think nothing of it, you know. Okay, I don't think nothing of it. Also, JD started questioning his dad. After one time at dinner table, they was eating chicken. And JD asked his dad, he was like, well, what would happen, Dad, if I put this chicken bone in some bleach? And Lionel was so excited. He was like, oh my God, JD is going to be a chemist like me. He's interested in bones. And so Lionel started to get in with JD and taught him how to preserve bones, skeletal bones. Not knowing JD ain't thinking what Dad thinking. Okay? But Lionel thought JD was into what he was into. Okay, so he was teaching him things, not knowing he was teaching him things for the worst. Jay didn't want to use it for the better, he used it for the worst. JD in high school started drinking at 14. He was going to school drunk from early in the morning through the whole day. I don't know how the parents didn't notice, but they did not know that JD was intoxicated and drinking. Now his friends will say, man, it's early in the morning. What you doing, bro? What you doing? What you doing drinking, bro? And JD said, this is my medicine. So he was drinking early. That was his medication. He was able to function. He graduated drinking every day since 14. Since 14, he was drinking. Also, JD found out when he hit puberty, he realized, I like boys. I'm gay. And he did not tell his parents. That's one of the first mistakes I think JD made. But you know, back then, they shunned upon, you know, gay people. They shunned up on them. You wasn't really too much allowed to be public and gay. And it was a bad thing to be gay back then. JD had his first murder 3 weeks after he graduated from high school. Before that, he started to develop. He was developing this, he wanted to dominate the boys, the men he was attracted to. He wanted to dominate them, you know. He wanted a submissive male. He wanted to be the dominant. So he had his first, unlived his first person 3 weeks after he graduated. Now, could JD have been saved? I believe so. JD could have been stopped a long time ago when that one 14-year-old boy got away. And the neighbor, the two family members of the neighbor, saw that the 14-year-old was bloodied, naked, disheveled, out of his mind because JD done played with his inside of his brain. And JD went to go drink and was going to come back and finish him off. Well, the boy found a way out. The girls found him, called the police, and here comes JD, smooth talker, talked his way out of there. The police should have went to the place and did more. They released that 14-year-old boy into JD's custody. Smooth talker, and I do believe skin color had a lot to do with that as well. But he was able to talk his way through anything. Drunk and all. Very casual. A lot of charisma, okay? JD had a lot of charisma, okay? I do believe JD could have been saved early on if the mother, wasn't dealing with her depression and mental issues, and dad had to go off to work. Somebody had to pay the bills. So mother had her issues, so JD fell by the wayside. He was lonely, most likely abandoned in his adolescence to teenage years. Nobody tend to him to show him affection. He really had nobody. JD really had nobody but his own thoughts, and he was a loner in school. He was as the funny kid, but he was a loner, And being a loner, all he had was his thoughts to talk to, inside of his head to talk to. And that's what he did. He talked to his inside of his head, and he had no one to say, hey, bro, this is not normal, this is not right, this is wrong. He didn't have that. And I think if he had more companionship, even as a friend, to help him draw that line, he wouldn't be who he was today. He wouldn't be what he's known for today. He didn't have that. He was lonely. He could talk to his mama. His mom was incapable of talking. She had her issues. Dad gone. And here's the thing I wanted to tell y'all. Dad had those same thoughts that JD had about the deceased, attractiveness, all of that. Because JD was into the chest and the torso. That was one of his attractive parts in the boy and male body. His dad said later on, after JD, was murdered, he said that he had those thoughts, and if only he knew, because his dad put his towards dissecting or whatever he wanted to do, he put it into chemistry, into science. And JD, I wish he would have did the same. Talk to his dad, because they was more alike than it was different. And he could have directed JD into turning his interests, things he was attracted to that he felt he couldn't control, into something positive. Chemistry, science, dissecting other things. At this point, I wish he could have just sticked with animals. Not saying that was right, but people that love animals. But he then went straight up to humans and killing all these innocent boys. So, could JD have been saved? In my opinion, yes, he could have been saved. A lot of his loneliness, and he was very smart, a lot of his loneliness, abandonedness, him not having nobody around, led his mind to go haywire. And he had nobody to stop him, nobody to guide him. So his mind went all over the place. And he was able to get away with it for so long, and he took so many lives. All because he was interested. And then also he was dealing with being attracted to the same sex. Now you attracted to the same sex, he got that on top of it as pressure. And I really wish Lionel could have talked with his son. They could have had that bond, that relationship, because that would have stopped a lot of things to this day. A lot of things could have been different. And he really could have placed that energy, that compulsion, and the torso. I mean, he could have even worked in the funeral home if you wanted you to see so many, It's just other ways he could have dealt with it than taking the lives. And if he was comfortable and was able to be open, he could have had a partner that was submissive to him, where he didn't feel that he could have that partner anytime he wanted without having to take someone's life to get that companionship. Because at the end, that's all JD wanted, was companionship, love. Something he didn't have. His mother took his brother and moved to Ohio. His dad moved to a hotel when they were separated. I mean, he seen him, but JD was raised at his grandma's house. His grandma had no idea what he was into. He had mannequins in his closet. It was a lot going on. But his mind was just free to roam, and he had no one to tell it to, no one to express his thoughts to. It's just like, for example, if I'm on the phone, I call my homegirl, girl, this such happened. This is what I think about this. What do you think about this? I have someone to tell me, okay, now, queen, that's too much, girl. Bring it back. Bring it back. He didn't have that. His mind was just free to roam with no boundaries. And he ended up taking 17 men, boys' lives. He had nowhere. So do I think he could have been saved? Yeah. It's your girl, Queen Talks Crime, signing out. Make sure you thumbs up. Tell me your thoughts. What do you feel and think about the monster, Jeffrey Dahmer?